Hey guys, just a quick video. It's sad, but it's also not sad. So, some of my other videos you may have seen my Doberman Kato running around in the background and so on and so forth. He's a full-blood Dobie. He's a year and a half old. And about 4 days ago, I noticed that he just wasn't himself. He's a very, very active dog, and his activity level started to drop off. Not a lot, but enough so that I was able to notice. He kind of slowed down on his eating, which is unusual for him. He's on a very strict diet, and I've had Dobermans for 20 years at least, and I really know the breed. I really trust the breed. They're not they can be if they're bred wrong or they're brought up wrong, but they're not the vicious killers that everybody says they are, but they are very protective. God forbid somebody that he didn't know came into my yard or my property or whatever and started to harass anybody in my family. He would get involved. With that being said, I noticed that his activity level, as I said, dropped off just a little bit. He still was extremely active, running around and playing fetch and chasing squirrels and rabbits and deer and so on. But I knew something was wrong. He was just a little bit off. So the next day, I could tell he was a little bit worse. So I thought maybe, dogs get sick just like people do. And I thought maybe he's just a little under the weather. So I was attentive to what was going on, but I wasn't super concerned. Well, the third day, he almost all but stopped eating. He was drinking normally, but his appetite was almost zero. The next day, he didn't want to get up. He was very lethargic. His tail was down all the time. He had no interest in anything. So, again, knowing the breed, I know that they go through these phases where they eat something that they shouldn't have. I kept a really good eye on him. I have some steak. I make what I call super soup, and I usually make it out of beef or chicken. A lot of vegetables, a lot of broth, a lot of noodles, and it's just like awesome. But, so I cut up some steak, and I put it in his food. He ate one piece of steak, and then he immediately vomited. And the vomit was primarily liquid, and it was a greenish color, which I knew was bile. So my concern went from, let's watch him, to red alert. Took him right to the vet. The vet checked him out, and it turned out he had a blockage in his intestines. The vet that I usually go to does not do that kind of, he needed surgery. They don't do that type of surgery. So they recommended me to another vet, which was probably 45 miles away. No big deal. They sent all his records down. I called him on the phone, pre-registered, and my wife, God bless her soul, I was at work, and my work is very strict, and it's a good job, and I don't want to screw it up. But my wife, she took off the day, and she took the dog from the first vet to the second vet, which was last night. And the vet did an ultrasound, verified the first vet's diagnosis, and indeed he did have a blockage in his intestine. So he threw up, it's not funny, I'm sorry. He threw up twice in my wife's car, and I have to clean that this weekend. So, long story short, the blockage turned out to be a 5 centimeter gray and blue little rubber ball, which is one of the cat's toys. My dog Kato really, really likes the cat. So somehow he got a hold, because I tried to keep them separated, you know, toys, food, litter box, all that. And somehow he got a hold of the cat's toy ball. And God only knows why he swallowed it. That turned out to be, as I said, the blockage. And they had to do surgery to remove it. They did that this morning around 9 a.m. And there was also something I wasn't really familiar with Dobermans, because as I said, I've had them forever and I've never once experienced this, but Dobermans are very deep-chested. And the vet said, the surgeon said, that they're very prone to stomach flip. And there's a procedure that they can do to adhere the stomach to the inside to prevent that from ever happening. So of course that's an additional charge. And I thought, you know what? And the choice of words may be poor, but they're already in there. So I opted to have that done. This Doberman he is so smart. He is so docile. He's never even growled at anybody, let alone try to bite someone. And he's, as I said, about 1.5 years old. And the vet told me the price. I knew it was not going to be cheap, especially for the time frame that was involved, because time was of the essence. So, of course, I agreed to it. And there were several options. They gave me the stomach preventive maintenance surgery, since they were already, again, poor choice of words, in there. They said now would be the time to do it. They asked me about neutering him, and I said absolutely not. And they told me that there was an extra charge for resuscitation if the dog died on the table during surgery. And when I'm going to tell you the price, I don't know if that's a good idea on my part, but I'm going to tell you. And I thought, for the price that you're charging, which I would have to pay whether he survived the surgery or not, that the resuscitation addition is almost a ridiculous question. And let me say that they told me the cost of this surgery, medication, follow-up visits, removing the sutures, everything included, would be between $3,800 and $4,500. And I thought, why would I spend that kind of money and not opt for the resuscitation, should it come to that, for an additional, I think it was $400. So I opted for the resuscitation. Again, that's a no-brainer. If you're going to spend that kind of money anyway, of course you want to save the dog. If you're going to spend that kind of money, it's obvious that you want to save your dog. So it's another couple of $100. I mean, and I'm not a rich guy, but thank God I have the means to cover this bill. So they did the surgery, 9 o'clock, and this dog, I'm telling you, I can play fetch with him. If you've seen the videos, he'll chase that tennis ball all day long. And it's gotten to the point over the last year of doing that where I can throw it until I can't throw it anymore because my arm hurts so bad. He comes back with it, and I throw pretty far. When I played ball in school, I could hit home plate from center field without a cutoff man. So he's doing a lot of work when he plays fetch with me. And it's gotten to the point where he comes back, he's not breathing hard after 15, 20 minutes of chasing that ball. So I knew his lungs and heart were in good shape, and I was really, really confident that, you know, there would be no resuscitation required. And it turns out that it was not needed. So I guess I made this video in case somebody else out there has a doggy that is exhibiting these symptoms. And the symptoms are, he gradually became more and more lethargic. He didn't seem to be in pain. He never whimpered or cried one time. His appetite went from ravenous to almost zero. And the vomit, the green vomit. So thank God I got him there in time. I know for a fact, because I've been a horse guy for a lot of years, that once a blockage occurs, if blood flow is restricted, that you start to damage tissue. And once the tissue is damaged to a certain point, there's no coming back. And the vet is going to tell you the only option is to euthanize. And that was my huge fear, because I've had some Dobies that didn't make it to 2 years old, between cancer, a burst gallbladder, and I don't even want to think about it. But my worst fear was the vet telling me there was nothing they can do. But thank God that I was attentive to who my dog is, and I got him to the vet in time. So there should be no side effects. It should be a full recovery. So guys, I just wanted to share this with you. Hopefully it helps somebody in saving their pet's life. And today is Thursday the 19th, November 19th, 2020. Looking forward to the weekend. Next weekend is Thanksgiving. And I'm going to have a surprise video about my, for me, a huge change in life. But anyway, I don't want to take up more of your time. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.